Impact.
Impact. All right, so we go to 546. Impact 546. Okay. We're gonna move up to 710 yards.
Okay. Hit.
Impact. All right, impact to 710.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of A Dude and Some Guns. It's been a while. I've been testing this gun out for a while, and I've meant to get this video out sooner. I've just had life happen, and yeah, okay. So to start off, what do I have here? It is the Palmetto State Armory, the PSA 6.5. Technically, this is rebarreled right now in 308, but it was when I originally bought it, the 6.5 Creedmoor option. And what I did was I bought the upper and the lower separately. And the reasoning behind that was, I think there is a tax you have to pay if you're buying a complete firearm. If you buy them separately, and for whatever reason, it's cheaper. So I did that. That was back in April of 2020, right as all the COVID crazy stuff was popping off, right? And I was looking for a long-range gun setup, so I was debating on whether or not I was going to go build a chassis bolt gun or go into the AR10 realm. And for whatever reason, I was like, you know what, I want an AR10, I want a gas system, and I went with this. So after checking out, I was looking at Seekins Precision stuff, very good stuff. And then I was looking at this, I was looking at the Seekins Precision builder kit, where it comes with basically everything except for the barrel, and I think barrel and bolt carrier group. Basically, you build that up, and I was gonna do that and probably get a Criterion barrel, throw it on there. And that would have put me in the realm of, price-wise, we're close to $1,600. And I was on a budget then, and I was like, you know what? I like doing budget stuff. Let's do the Palmetto State. So I went with Palmetto State, and I said, let's see what we can get, right? Let's see what kind of accuracy. If I can get some good accuracy out of it, I'll keep it as is. If not, you know, I can just take the barrel, rebarrel it, and throw a Criterion on there. You know what I mean? Call it a day. And it should still work pretty good. So either way, I was like, I'll have a good shooter. I'll figure it out. So with this, when I bought the upper and lower, right? The upper was $250. Upper was $550. Lower was $250. So total $800 went into this gun, as is, right? Now there's modifications to it. Now I'm going to go over those in a second. What I did to bring it up to kind of long range shooting speed. As is, it was $800, which now they're going for over $1,000 if you can even find them. I talked to Seekins, and I was looking at picking up one of their builder kits because I was going to upgrade from this, and they're like, dude, everything is sold out 6 months plus. So like, I was like, at that point, honestly, I'm just going to stick with this. I might sell it. Who knows? I might keep it. Right now, I just want to show you what went into it and what I got out of it, right? The performance I got out of it. Did it actually work? Was it a piece of junk? I'm gonna go into that right now. So when I first bought this gun, it came with a regular collapsible stock, like the M4 style collapsible stock. It had a 20-inch 6.5 Creedmoor barrel, the stainless steel barrel, which is right here, and I cut down, and I'll get into that as well. That'll be a different video. But 20-inch barrel. Overall, the trigger is actually not that bad. Took the trigger out and changed that up as well. And overall package was around 14 pounds when I had an optic on it and a suppressor. You're looking closer, over 15 pounds with the whole setup. But as is, I don't know what it is or what it was originally. Now it's closer to about 14 pounds. I have a shorter barrel on it, so that is what it is, right? Some modifications I made instantly was I was upgrading the buttstock, right? This buttstock area was just it came with a carbine length buffer tube. I had to switch out to a full length rifle buffer tube system through Aero Precision. So I got that, installed that, because I bought the Seekins Precision. This is a Pro Comp buttstock. Nice buttstock, adjustable just in the comb, right, up and down. Length and pull as well. No cant, right, this way or that way. So, you know, for a platform like this, it was one of the best options I found, realistically, because otherwise you're looking at the Magpul PRS, which is probably pretty nice, but it was also like $150 more. And I was like, no, I'm not going to pay that right now. I was just making simple upgrades. I just wanted to get it up and running, right? So the Seekins fit that bill. I switched out the pistol grip, just a regular A2 pistol grip that came with it. I like the BCM. I'm just a fan of the BCM stuff, so I threw that on there. The charging handle also, you'll see, was a regular AR10, you know, Palmetto State Armory AR10 charging handle. I switched that out with the Strike Industries charging handle. Just a little bit extra on that left side, right? If you can see that, for charging that charging handle, right, with an optic there, because the optic was going to be there. From there, the trigger had it switched out to a Larue Tactical MBT. It's one of my favorite triggers for an AR system. I think it's one of the best bangs for your buck for any AR platform. It's a 2.5. I think the first stage is 2.5, and the next stage is 2 pounds. So it's a 2-stage trigger, and what I like about it is it's light enough to get some precision work in there. Again, most people would say it's not light enough, go for, you know, they'll go super low. It works for an AR platform that I'm taking out to 1,000 yards. It works, right? And what I like about it is it's also heavy enough that you can use it for competitions. You're not going to be, say like 3-gun competitions, I can have it in my AR-15. You're not going to be worried about a super light trigger on that gun. You shouldn't be worrying about that anyways. You should have good firearm handling, you know, safety skills. But right, so we got the trigger, MBT trigger. They were like $80, right? I think you can find them now for 87. But like again, like everything else, they're back ordered months. I have them in all my ARs. Love them. Larue Tactical, doing a great job. Keep it up. The bolt carrier group is JP Enterprises, and I looked that up. I wasn't too familiar with that, and I was looking up the bolt carrier group to see what kind of bolt carrier grip it was, and it's a solid, it has dual ejectors in the bolt head. I'll show you that. It's a very well made bolt carrier group, and when I did have an issue with it, which is, it wasn't its fault, I had some bad ammo that destroyed the firing pin, but when I did contact them, and no questions asked, they sent me out a new firing pin. They actually sent me 2. They were super great on customer service and really helped me out. The barrel's a heavy barrel. Initially, it was this 6.5 barrel, all right? So you have a 6.5 barrel, heavy barreled, until it gets to the contour, changes to a thinner contour past the gas block. And again, this was much longer, but I cut it down. It has a heavy barrel in there now, but for right now, that's a 308, and again, I'll get into that later. But M-lock handguards, that stayed the same, nothing changed there. So the only thing I changed for the barrel was that I cut it down to 16 inches. So I chopped off 4 inches off that 20-inch Creedmoor barrel to make it very nice, and it wasn't unwieldy, right, for a long gun, because I was going to suppress it, so I don't want 20 inches plus, you know, an extra 7 or 8 inches on there at the end. So those are the modifications that I made that turned it into a gun, an AR that I wanted to work with, right? All the platforms and all the areas where I connect with the gun, right? Cheek piece, trigger. Those are the things that I had to modify pretty quickly. Could you have gotten away with just keeping it stock? Yeah, probably. Up to you. Depends what you're using it for, right? If you're shooting 500 and in, or like most people, you're shooting 200 and in or 100, or you're just using it as a range gun. Are you going to know the difference? Probably not, right? Is it going to make a difference? Probably not. Unless you want to start getting into, you know, really tight groups, shooting tight groups, or if you actually want to shoot out long, right? If you want to stretch it out, which is what I was building it for. And most people will be like, well, it's not, you know, you're not going to get great accuracy out of a gas gun. Well, I wanted to push it. I wanted to see what we could do, right? So I did all that, and that was now, the gun was ready, right? The gun was ready, set up, ready to go for what I wanted. So let's talk about accuracy, right? Was it accurate? So when I first started shooting it, I was able to get sub-MOA groups using just not even nice match ammo. I was using the Sellier Bellot 140 grain, 6.5 Creedmoor, the tactical stuff, because it was $14 a box. I know most of you people are gonna be like, oh my God. Yeah, I was buying that stuff because I knew it had a good reputation. I was just looking for the cheapest stuff I could find because it was a budget gun. Why not feed it some budget ammo, right? Most people would be like, why would you do that? That is, do not, please God, do not do that. People in the long range world are like, just feed it some good ammunition. No, I mean, I do normally. But again, I was just starting off, I'm like, let's see what I can get. And I was getting sub-MOA groups with that. It was around 1 inch sometimes, a little bit over sometimes, and then I get some sub-MOA groups if I was doing my part. So the gun was working, and I'm like, all right, this barrel's cool. I cut it, sent it off to Wilson Manufacturing, and they cut down to 16 inches, got it back to me. They were very nice on their service, got it back. It was like maybe 2-3 weeks turnaround time, which back then was like, it was still, things were still kind of crazy because of COVID. It's worse now, but for the time it was pretty good. All right, so I had that, took the barrel out, still accurate. I was like, sweet, good. So we took it out. I was blessed to have Coleman's Creek training facility out near me in North Carolina, and I was shooting out to, I mean, you could shoot out past a mile there. If you're in the North Carolina area on the East Coast, I think it's one of the best shooting facilities probably on the East Coast. Little hidden gem. The unknown distances go out pretty far. They have a mile range. You can shoot out to a mile, small 8-inch gong. That's tough. Then they have another one, known distance out to 12, 13. So I took this baby out and I shot this all summer long. Me and my buddy were just out there, just getting after it, right? And back then, the ammo I was shooting was the 6.5. Sellier Bellot was like 75 cents a round. I switched over to a Hornady. I was using the Hornady Gunner, the 140s. And again, I was getting sub-MOA groups. I was like, that's good enough for me. You know, it wasn't shooting half-inch groups, but I didn't need it to for what I was doing. A minute and under, I'll be happy, right? Because that puts me on target at 1,000. And in the setup that I have, the 6.5 Creedmoor, that thing was out to 1,000 was killer.
So I'm gonna dial that in. We're gonna go try to get another first round impact at 1,000 yards.
Hit.
All right, cool. So we just had an impact at 1,008 yards. First round hit. That was actually pretty fucking cool. I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, you were right and low.
Did you hear that?
I heard that, but I didn't see the plate move at all.
Listen, I'm gonna shoot again.
I think you could have hit a post. You had to have hit it.
I'm hitting it.
You're hitting it. You want to try hitting the steel in the
Yeah.
car? Oh, perfect. Oh, that was beautiful. I saw the trace too.
Yeah. That's cool.
God, that was nice.
Alright, so just shot a dude in the passenger side of a car at 1,027 meters or yards. So that was pretty neat. Motherfucker. Alright, so what happened was I just shot 2 in a row at 12:30 and I wasn't recording on my phone. So you didn't get the sweet footage. I'm going to do it again. Hopefully I don't screw it up. And we'll get first round, if not second or something round impacts on target. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Always hit record, guys. Always hit record. Alright, let's fucking do this. that was an impact. And we got a hit. Hell yes. Alright, so as you guys saw, we got a hit. Alright, we had 2 in a row before, but I didn't record it, so we're not going to count it. But yeah, get a hit, 1230, no biggie. Again, the wind's kind of doing weird stuff right now. It's going from, I have a 1 mil holdover to under a half mil. It's just going back and forth right now. It's a weird time of the day later on, so you don't have a consistent wind. But okay, PSA, 16.5 inch. Bam, we're hitting targets at 1230. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat for a little 16.5 inch compact Creedmoor.
Limits, really, I was hitting limits around 1300 with that, 13, 14. With the 16 inch barrel, right? But I did use the Prime 130s. I had a batch. Actually, it was one of the old batches of ammo that I had from one of my original videos when I shot the mile with the Ruger American Predator and 6.5. It was from the same lot of ammo. I had that ammo in a gun box somewhere for a couple years, and I found that. I'm like, oh, let me just shoot it. It was higher pressured, and I was getting, out of the 16 inch barrel, I was getting very high speeds, which caused primary blowouts because the pressure was too high. And that's what did some of the damage to the firing pin, which I'll go into. But with the 130s, that stuff was hot, and it was shooting pretty good, getting solid hits at 1300 with that 16 inch barrel. So the gun worked. The gun got out there. I used it all summer long. Worked on positional shooting, getting more, trying more PRS kind of style shooting, and just practicing. It was a lot of fun, right? This gun just ran. So let's talk about reliability, right? Because you're like, all right, it can shoot, but was it reliable? It's a gas gun, and that's a big question for gas guns, right? So this barrel, with the adjustable gas block there, you use a Allen key, a long Allen key that came with it, and you would just turn it, right? So you would turn it to open up that valve to let more gas flow back in, or turn it and then close it off so there's less gas coming back. So the key was I lowered it down as far as I could while it's still functioning, then I turned it back up a notch, right? I think maybe I turned it up maybe 1 or 2 clicks, just to ensure reliability with that gas system. So initially, just tuning it, yeah, there were issues with the gun, right? I turned it all the way down, and it was a lot quieter, I'll tell you that. When I had it suppressed and the gas turned off, this thing was quiet, and it all functioned flawlessly. I have 900 rounds through the 6.5 barrel. After the first, again, 100 rounds, I was breaking the gun in. After that, this thing just ran. I never had any issues. The only issue, now caveat that with, the only issue is that I had a bad batch of the Sellier Bellot ammo, and out of one lot, I had 6 blown out primers. So I'm only with that lot. With no other ammo did that ever happen. It was only with that type of ammo and that lot of ammo. Never had another issue with anyone else except for the prime. The prime was a little bit hotter stuff, and that did blow out the primers as well. When the primers blow back out of the case, right, because the gas, the pressure in that chamber is too high, it blows that primer out the back of the cartridge. When that happens, it smashes into the firing pin. So that happened a bunch of times, and I'm like, wow, the firing pin's gonna break. I shot a PRS match. Right after that match, I went back to the range. I was shooting. I think it was maybe 2 rounds in, 2 or 3 rounds in. I was practicing some positionals, and click. I pull that trigger, nothing happens. Click. I'm like, okay, light strike maybe. Wrap around, go back to it. Click, another click. Nothing happens. I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna have 2 light strikes in a row. I knew it was the firing pin right away. Opened it up, looked at the bolt. There's no tip. Trying to push the firing pin through. You can see the bolt. There's no firing pin going through. So yeah, it broke. I knew it was gonna break because it kept getting slammed by those firing pins. But it held out. It held out the entire match. That was actually pretty funny. I laughed about that. Because there's only 2 more rounds. If it had been 2 rounds sooner, it would have been during the match, and that would have sucked. So what happened was I hit up JP Enterprises because they have the bolt carrier group, and they got back to me and they sent me 2 firing pins, no questions asked. And I had also emailed PSA at the same time because I didn't know who was going to get back to me. And PSA also got back to me and also sent me a firing pin. So good on both of them. They both actually were decent customer service, like pretty good. No complaints there. It's fine. Never had another issue ever since then. I also didn't fire at the Sellier and Bellots anymore. Then I switched over to the Hornady American Gunner 140s. And those worked really well. I like those. Again, I was shooting that for like 75 cents a round. I could shoot all day. I would go to the range, 100 rounds. Me and my buddy shot probably around 200 to 400 rounds of that per month. Had a great time. And then everything just came to a freaking halt with 6.5 Creedmoor. But that's a different story. I'll get into that in another video, right? So overall, what do I think about this gun? I bought it as a long range, kind of intro to, not intro to long range, but I wanted a gas operated long range system, right? I got this bad boy. It worked. It worked. And in the 6.5 configuration, if you leave the 20-inch barrel on there, it'll be a 1,500 yard gun, I would say. When you cut it down, you are going to lose some velocity, which means at those longer distances, that bullet is a little bit less stable, right? Wind can push it around, it can do a little bit more wild things, but 1,000 in gun all day long, 100%, 1,000 in, no problem. I never had an issue at 1,000 yards with the 6.5 Creedmoor. That even with the 16-inch barrel. And again, I'm gonna get that's a different video. Right now, I'm using 308 because I can get it. It's available to me, right? It allowed me to keep shooting, but regardless, it's still a very reliable gun. Have had 0 issues whatsoever. I have a Seekins adjustable gas block on there right now. It's very nice, and it's functionality it means similar to the PSA. It's just a little bit different and fit and finish, and it's a little bit easier if you have access to it. There's a little switch you can switch from suppressed to unsuppressed. So besides that, the gun is very solid. Again, I wanted to build a long range system in a gas gun, and that's what I did, and it worked. It worked, and I would have no qualms about continuing to run this. When you get into the 308, it does take a step back. It is a little bit of a step back from the 6.5 Creedmoor. It just is. That's just ballistics is what it is. But there's still access to 308 out there right now. So if you're looking at it, you can always change out the barrels. If you want to get one right now, if you can find one, I'll go 308 just because you can shoot. So the use I see this gun for, right now I would say a fun range gun, right? Is it light enough to go hunting? Depends what you're hunting. It depends how you're hunting, right? Are you gonna be trekking a 15-pound gun? Probably not. Are you gonna be using it for PRS matches? You could run in the gas gun division. I have, and it works. A better shooter could probably do better things with it than I can. And but if you want to shoot, you want to start getting into long range, and you're on a budget, again, it's still $1,000. You can modify it however you want. That's the kind of cool thing about the AR systems. The AR10s are a little bit different in that not all AR10s are compatible. Like you cannot take this upper and put it on an arrow lower, or an arrow lower on this upper. For whatever reason, they all have. There's no like mil spec. There kind of is, but there isn't at the same time. Some things are compatible, some things aren't. Some things are still AR-15 parts that you can use on this, like the trigger, the fire control group, grips, buttstocks, buffer tubes. But you cannot. There's certain things you cannot use. So you just have to figure out what you want to do with it, right? If you're going full on into long range, is a bolt gun better? You're gonna have better accuracy out of a bolt gun. Unless you get some like a Criterion barrel or a proof barrel thrown on there, man. I've seen some tight friggin' groups coming out. And again, like, can it shoot sub MOA? Yeah, this gun can shoot sub MOA. So if I had a really nice match ammo, could it shoot better? Probably. Did I ever buy it really expensive, or do I hand load? No. So that's a limitation for me. I just wanted something that I could train with, right? But if you're getting into an AR and you want an AR10 platform, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. It's reliable and it's accurate. So again, this barrel has 300 rounds. That has 900. So I have close to 1,200 rounds through this whole system. And once you have the gas setting and tuned, super reliable. Now, would I recommend this for going long range? You could. If you have 6.5 and you had 6.5 ammo and you can shoot, I would say, yeah, sure. I would also check out 6mm arc, because in a lighter platform, you can get similar results out to 1,000. And it's in a lighter platform, and you can still use an AR-15 lower, so you don't have to buy a whole new gun. But that being said, 6mm arc is nowhere to be found. People are stopping making barrels for it. I know Ballistic Advantage just stopped because there's no demand, because there's no ammo. So again, now it's a private project of mine. Is it going to happen in the future? Hopefully, right? If they don't ban everything. But 6mm arc would be pretty sweet. I want to get my hands on one of those and build something up nice. Would I prefer that over a 308? Yeah, probably. It'd be a little bit lighter and easier, softer shooting. Even though this is not a hard shooting gun, especially when you have a rifle length buffer system, and it's a gas gun. It's a soft shooting gun. In the 6.5 and the 308, people are like, oh, 6.5 is a little bit lighter. It's less recoil. In a gas gun, you don't really feel a difference. I don't at least, right? So again, reliable gun. It's gonna shoot accurate. If it doesn't, rebarrel it, right? You can get a new barrel from Criterion. You can get, a whole bunch of people make AR-10 barrels. So worst case scenario, it has a good bolt carry group, decent enough barrel with an adjustable gas block on a production gun. It's a pretty decent gun, right? It's not a Seekins precision, but it also works, and it's less than half the price. Yeah, less than half the price, and it works. So again, if it's in your budget and that's what you can afford, you're not gonna go wrong with it, right? If you can't afford a $2,500 or $3,000 gun, then this might be an option for you, okay? That's my little review. Hope you liked it. Hope you got something out of it. I'm gonna talk about 308 and 6.5 in the next video.